Hello everybody, welcome back to my YouTube channel. So in the series of pattern printing, this is the next pattern we are going to print. Up till now we have printed some patterns like this, in which no space has to be printed before the required symbol or number is being printed. But in this pattern we have to print certain number of spaces before the actual symbol or the number has to be printed. So let me explain you the pattern with more detail. So I am assuming that I have to print the pattern for n equals to 5, where n is the number of rows. Over here I have taken n equals to 7, where we have 7 rows. Over here I am explaining you where n is 5. So for n is equals to 5, I want to have a pattern like this. I want a star to be printed over these indexes. So as we can clearly see, in the first row we have only one star and 4 spaces. So for the first row we have 4 spaces and 1 star. For the second row we have 3 spaces and 2 stars. For the third row, first we have 2 spaces followed by 3 stars. Then we have 1 space, 4 stars, and in the final row we have 0 spaces and 5 stars. Now as we can see, there is a common thing between all of these rows. The sum of the number of spaces and the number of stars being printed is same, which is 5. So one thing is certain, that the number of symbols or number of characters being printed on the screen is equals to 5. Now whether that character is space or whether that character is your required symbol, the sum has to be 5. The another very important thing that we can notice is, for the first row we have only one symbol that is being printed, that is the required symbol. For the second we have 2, for the third we have 3. So by now you must have analyzed what sort of procedure we are going to take forward. So let's start coding. So since we have both rows and columns, we need to have two loops. Need to have nested loop. The outer loop is always for maintaining the number of rows and the inner loop is to maintain the number of columns. So let's initialize the number of rows we want. Let's take 10 for int I is equals to 1, I is less than equals to n, I plus plus. Now if you have watched my previous video, I showed you how we can add a function to the program and make the program look more simpler and easier to us. So over here I'll just make a function which is named as print, and I'm going to pass 2 parameters, int n and char character, char ch. Over here n is the number of times the character ch has to be printed on the screen. So over here I will have a loop for int I is equals to 1, I is less than equals to n, and I plus plus, and I am going to print the character. So what this function does is, it will print the character ch n times on the row. Now over here we know first we have to print For the first row, we need to print 4 when n is 5, 4 spaces, and then 1 required character. So we can tell that we have the number of spaces that are to be printed are n minus I, that is total number of characters that are to be printed in a row minus the current row value. So over here I am going to print n minus I times the character space, and then I am going to print I times our character star. And since we know after performing the function of the particular row, we have to transfer our cursor to the next row. After this, I have to write the command which transfers the control to the next row. So let's see how this code works. See, our pattern has been printed as we have shown. So this was all for today's video. So if you like my videos, please subscribe to my channel. Do hit the subscribe button and the bell button.